Listen up. This is the beginning of my life adventure. Betty, trying to hold back her frustration, walks into the living room to broadcast her grievances and anxieties, only to be met with a collective attack from everyone. Some lecture her for not knowing customs, others scold her for shaming the family, and some even joke her husband is too indulgent, while he stands by. He remains a cold observer, and at that moment, Betty faces not just a tyrannical husband, but a whole family ceremony masquerading as family honor. Her cries for help echo in this family structure, where they never intended to listen at all. In this family and cultural context, violence is not an accident. It's treated like an educational minimum guarantee. Once women resist, they are labeled disobedient, immature. Betty finally realizes she can't stay here any longer. In America, she's just an overlooked outsider. Eventually, she can't even hold on to her job, and the family's burden crushes her pride like it's made of paper. But if she goes back to Iran, everything will flip. She won't be that subservient loser at work or the silent one at the dinner table. Instead, she'll be the exalted success in the eyes of relatives, the authority in the household her wife and daughter will have to obey unconditionally as if for bottled-up grievances. Will finally get compensated at this moment. She enjoys the feast of feeling superior. The obedience of wife and daughter, and family's praise, became tools for her to redefine worth, and Betty gradually understood. She hasn't changed. She's finally showing the side of herself that's been hidden for too long. She didn't choose to compromise. During the quiet of the night, she stealthily contacts her mother far away in America, who tells her there's no American embassy in Iran, and her only chance is to head to the Swiss consulate in Tehran. The next day, she ventures with her daughter, but reality is much tougher than imagined. As soon as they learned that Betty's husband was Iranian, the staff's attitude immediately ceased to be friendly. Many might not understand why Betty, knowing her husband's true nature, still doesn't choose to divorce him. But in reality, her hesitation doesn't stem from weakness, it's because she's painfully aware. She knows that the laws in Iran and her own sense of justice are worlds apart. The discrepancy between her mindset and Iranian laws is crystal clear to her. She knows that under the Iranian legal system, the woman's passport usage rights belong to her husband. Child custody is directly tied to the lineage of the husband, even in such a system. Once marriage is established, women lose basic freedom. In divorce, what might be taken away is not just the marriage, but also the child. In Iran, marriage automatically makes women Iranian citizens, and to leave the country, they need their husband's written consent. Moreover, custody almost always goes to fathers post-divorce, leaving mothers no longer torn between freedom and marriage. It's a choice between self-preservation or losing family ties. She lacks the means or the space to leave, only able to look for a chance to escape beneath the surface. Homeless and broke, she can only take her daughter back to that suffocating home once again. What awaits her is not understanding or regret, but a hefty dose of Iranian man's education. Why are you doing this? You still need to take care of it. The man knows all too well that the daughter is Betty's little person. From that day, he forbade the mother-daughter pair to go out together and had relatives monitor her closely. Every door and every pair of eyes became obstacles to her freedom, but Betty didn't give up. She was waiting for even the slightest crack of hope until one day she discovered an opportunity in her language class. She quietly handed a written SOS note to a classmate, pleading for her to mail it to the American embassy. But every time she came to class, she saw women with bruised faces. Eventually, one was forcibly taken away by a teacher. The flower of hope hadn't even bloomed before it dried up. With no way out, Betty had to bank on calling for help. After facing numerous setbacks on her journey, finally, someone breaks the silence. A clothing store owner who studied in the US decides to lend a hand. Need a phone? Here you go. Finally got through. But the embassy only expressed regret and sympathy, totally helpless. Betty turned away in despair. Just as she was about to leave, the boss who had been watching her finally spoke up. Maybe I can help. Next day, he arrived as promised, contacted a broker organization for her, and provided 3 escape routes. She chose the most dangerous route because she knew that the riskier the path, the less likely it was to be discovered and the more likely it would lead to freedom. This route would start from Tehran, the capital of Iran, and cross the Zagros Mountains. It would traverse the war-torn Kurdish region straight to the Turkish border. If successful, she would head to the U.S. Embassy in Turkey seeking asylum. The fee is $10,000, marking the first time someone is willing to help her out of her predicament. Betty didn't hesitate. All she thought about was leaving with her daughter. Price doesn't seem like much, especially since the other party allows her to pay after successfully arriving in the U.S.